Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us here today. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy, joined here by Mr. Casey and Mr. Coz, and we will be recording our next iteration of Banghead STEM. So I'll just go ahead and toss it over to you, Mr. Coz. What are we going to talk about this week?
We're going to talk about a new battery being researched by MIT. It's called a lithium-ion fiber battery. And you got a question?
Yeah, I'd just like to hear a little more explanation on this.
It's a rechargeable lithium-ion battery.
Okay.
So, it's basically like a fiber. It's 140 meters long. So you can pretty much do whatever you want with it.
The battery's 140 meters long?
Yeah. It looks like a fuse.
Okay.
So, this thing, you can cut it.
You can cut the battery.
Yeah. They had like actual little video where they had it set up and then they clipped it, and it still kept its charge. And then they burnt one side and let it like catch on fire, and it still kept its charge. Their plans for this is to kind of weave it into like ordinary clothing, or you can.
So we're going to have battery-powered clothes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll definitely make those Christmas sweaters a lot.
And it's going to be washable as well.
Yeah, interesting.
So I see like spy shit coming in the future. Kind of like how Facebook and all that kind of stuff does their algorithms, what you search and all that. They're just going to weave it into materials, and who knows who you walk by, they could be recording you.
So, well, I know you probably don't know the answer to this, but I would imagine that a lithium ion is lithium, like a kind of metal, and when you walk through a metal detector, it's going to go off.
I don't know.
Yeah, I would have to assume so.
Yeah.
And then they send you through an X-ray machine, and it probably lights up like a Christmas tree.
Ready?
Yep.
So the battery is made up of like novel battery gels. The fiber drawing system starts with the fiber wire, and then it goes to a larger cylinder containing all the components, like, the photosensors and LED, diodes and whatnot. Okay. Yeah, so all of these are kind of connected. So you can. They had an actual like battery, like a huge battery that they built using. There was an image on there. I got all this from technology.org.
So how does it say how long the fiber?
140 meters.
No, how long it lasts.
It's rechargeable.
Right, it is rechargeable, but I mean, it's a fiber.
Right, but a battery is going to degenerate, over time.
Yeah. I'm guessing they just came out with it because these guys worked on other components like that, like I was talking about, the diodes and stuff like that.
Because you might be thinking about spy shit, but what I got in my head right now is like a clothing line, where the clothes light up, kind of like a style.
A mustache.
Gotta
have the mustache if you're making clothes.
And what are those little fibers? They use it for internet connection, and they put it in trees so it lights the tree.
Oh, you talk about fiber optics?
Yeah, some fiber optics with that, and you weave that through some clothes. You could probably come up with some pretty gnarly designs.
Well, apparently it's going to be fully self-contained. Well, so I imagine, because they're already trying to work on rechargeable batteries that recharge themselves, right?
Right.
So I'm guessing that's where this comes into play. They're trying to, probably going to put it into AI maybe as well. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to plug in your sex robot or whatever the hell you got.
It's strange that your mind came to that.
Whatever robot you made.
I'm thinking about a clothing line, and he's thinking about sex robots.
And I'm just stuck in the middle.
He's like, put the t-shirt on the sex robot.
It lights up!
so it's not the fiber is the only thing that will actually be weavable and stuff. So when you're putting it into like a bigger device, you're still going to have the components.
Okay, quick question. You may or may not know the answer to this, but let's say they do turn it into like, you know, some sort of cloth or anything, or you know, some article of clothing. Right. Is there going to have to be like a unit on the side that, you know, houses all these other electronic components?
I was wondering the same thing.
Here's what I was thinking. Since the weave itself is the battery, I'm just gonna say, like, say that just this section right here, this part of the clothing, just the little sleeve right here, that part would be the battery, and then you would plug into it, and then you could just have like wires or part of the weave going through the clothing.
Charge your clothes up for the next day.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of had in my mind. I don't know.
Right, but I mean, my question was: is there going to be like, you know, another like contained unit or something that you're going to have to
like an attachment
put on there for like the diodes and everything that you need to make, you know, this a viable power source? So,
I don't know the answer to that.
I didn't know if you knew.
No, I didn't. I don't know the answer to that one. So there's a way that they do it.
Are they using it in it, or what is they specifically trying to use it for in their experiments? Are they?
Why did they design this?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so that they can have a battery that is meshable with whatever you want to do with it.
You could, you know, form it to any shape you want.
Yeah, they're even talking about actually making it viable for 3D printers. So that,
I mean, if it's like you could consider it like maybe it's like intertwined in like a plastic or something like that. Maybe it's like a flat. So basically, it would in my mind, it's like the next step because everything's trying to be lighter weight and cost less and have things that are smaller. So maybe you don't need, for example, like in a cell phone, maybe you don't need to have a battery in the cell phone anymore. Maybe the entire casing is meshed between plastic and the mesh.
I think that's really what they're trying to do.
Okay, realistically, think about this too. What if you don't need a battery in a cell phone anymore because it runs off your clothes?
Well, the clothes.
I mean, they had them chargers that you just lay your phone down and don't plug in anything into the battery. So why couldn't they, you know, use the electricity from?
What he's saying is the phone itself would just charge itself.
Right.
Like the clothes would be a totally different.
Right, but what I'm saying, you can make this phone even smaller without having a battery in there. Because I mean, a battery's a vast majority of the size of a.
Well, the one thing I see is to be honest with you, I don't see cell phones getting smaller. I think people want something of substance that they can hold.
I don't want them to get any bigger, though. I'll tell you that.
Well, yeah, no, we don't want them to get. I mean, I've seen people that walk around with basically tablets.
Yeah.
But I don't think cell phones. I think there's only a limit to how small, because you can have like a watch. I mean, they could put almost
right, but
it's too small.
More or less, it'll just make them thinner. You know.
Well, these components, these other components, are also the same thing, like washable and stuff. So you could put the components in like jeans and then put your cell phone in your back pocket. Essentially charge your cell phone.
Right.
With your clothes. Something like that, you know? The possibilities are endless. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a... It's just that everything new... people have ideas like us. We're just brainstorming ideas here.
This is exactly what they do.
Right.
They just have the resources to fuck around with it.
Implement said ideas.
Yes, that's true. Whatever sells, it sells.
All right, there we go. There we have it. The next iteration of Banghead STEM, we talked about new battery technology that could potentially be used in clothing and other.
Possibilities are endless.
Possibilities are endless. So, well, thank you very much for putting that together, Mr. Coz. I'm, of course, Gregor Guy, depending upon how you know me. Also joined here by Mr. Casey. And we hope you learned something, and thank you all for watching out there. Have a lovely day.